What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mac, back at it again with the Patriots Connected franchise. As you guys saw last video, we took it now to the Tennessee Titans, 31-28 in the playoffs, and that concludes our season. Ultimately, going 10-7, can't really be mad with how we did. Taking a look at see how the season ended for our team. Mac Jones with a solid rookie season, 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, which was way too many, but we will get those down next season. 66% completion percentage, I definitely want to improve as well, but as we improve him, I feel like that will be better. Take a look at the running game. Damian Harris with 1,300 yards on the season and 15 touchdowns. The guy was an absolute beast, averaging 4.7 yards a carry, 81 yards a game. I was doing pretty solid with him. Definitely a cornerstone for our offense. And then Ramondre Stevenson, who is obviously was an absolute beast. He killed for us in Week 18. I got him with averaging 5 yards a carry, so I think it's going to be a pretty solid 1-2 punch between the two of them, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, for years to come. I don't think I will necessarily need to be looking at any running backs anytime soon, especially since we get James White. He'll be gone in the offseason, so I maybe want to get like a receiving back, but honestly, I'm pretty cool with the two of them. Cordell Patterson was pretty solid as well, but I don't really plan on retaining him. So it's not really much to talk about. James White, obviously, he was hurt before we even started the series. Took a look at the receiving game. Jacoby Myers leading our team in receptions with 84, and the next closest was Hunter Henry with 59. But Jacoby Myers, 923 yards, almost an 1,000-yard season. But he only got in the end zone 3 times, so the guy, it's one of those things, like, he makes catches, but he doesn't really make plays. So it's like one of those things where I really need to find a way to either get him the ball in better situation or we need to upgrade our slot receiver position. Tight ends, I'm pretty happy with it. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I'm going to be pretty happy with those 2 tight ends. We have them pretty locked up for the next couple years. So I'm not too worried about that. But our receiver position is definitely something that leaves something to be desired. So Nelson Aguilar, right here, 725 yards, 39 catches. And then we also have Kendrick Bourne, who I think is going to be pretty solid for us with 56 catches, 719 yards, 6 touchdowns. So honestly, it really just comes down to we just need guys to make plays. I think Kendrick Bourne is a playmaker. Nelson Aguilar, he had some drops there in the season that kind of really make me want to almost move on from him. But we shall see. Touchdown-wise, Nelson Aguilar did lead our team in touchdowns, but it's not really saying a lot. 7's not like anything spectacular. And so, yeah. O-line, I'm pretty happy with our O-line, to be honest. Sacks allowed, Isaiah Wynn gave it the most, but ultimately our O-line's pretty good. Mac Jones only got sacked 28 times this season, so nothing to really complain about. Take a look at our defense. Jawan Bentley leading our team in tackles. And then Dante Hightower, who's probably going to be on a new team next season unless we retain him through free agency. Then Adrian Phillips, all leading our teams with in the hundreds for the tackles. Matthew Judon, the free agent acquisition from Baltimore, 12.5 sacks, which leads our team. Kyle Van Noy with a smooth 10. Christian Barmore, the rookie out of Alabama, with 5. I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely hope he can get a little bit more involved in the pass rush next season, but as he gets more playing time in general, so I'll be happy to see what we can do with it. You know what we do. We get interceptions most of the time, but this season we didn't really get a lot, as J.C. Jackson did lead our team with 4. But ultimately, we only ended the season with 8 interceptions, which is pretty low, in my opinion, for our defense. And so next season, I definitely want to try to look at maybe upgrading our corners or just overall just trying to make sure that we get our guys in better position to get interceptions. So that is how our season ultimately went. Um, I'm gonna go. We got our contract extended, so that's gonna be another 3 years. But they want us to fill the staff, I guess. But I'm pretty happy with what we have at the moment, so I don't really care to really change anybody on our staff. I could fire the OC, but like I said, I don't really see the point. Talent, crossing guarded, free pancake, 6th lineman. Yeah, I don't see the point in firing our old OC at the moment. Our offense was pretty solid, but if our offense is ever bad throughout the series, we will fire him. So don't get it twisted. But anyways, y'all, see y'all next week. So taking a look at what happened around the league, obviously we took our L to the Tennessee Titans, 31-28. But it looks like the Cleveland Browns are going to move past the Baltimore Ravens 34-31. The Cincinnati Bengals upset the Kansas City Chiefs 27-13, and that sets up a Buffalo Bills hosting the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns hosting the Tennessee Titans in the divisional round. For the NFC side of the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Washington Football Team 28-14. So that's Tom Brady moving on to the next round. You got the Green Bay Packers beating the San Francisco 49ers 45-38. So Aaron Rodgers getting his revenge against the Packers in the playoffs. And the Saints upset the Cowboys 30-21. So Dak won't be able to move on to the next round, which is going to set up a Arizona Cardinals versus New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Green Bay Packers. Excited to see how these weekend games go. So, bing, there you go. Cincinnati Bengals upset the Buffalo Bills. Looks like Joe Burrow has 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the day. Josh Allen, a touchdown, interception. You got Joe Mixon having a kind of day. Receiving-wise, Tyler Boyd going absolutely off. 11 catches, 196 yards. Absolutely going off. That is interesting. Seeing the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC Championship against the Tennessee Titans, who upset the Cleveland Browns. I can only imagine Derrick Henry probably had a solid game. So, Ryan Tannehill 3 touchdowns after beating us. Derrick Henry got held to 79 yards, and Nick Chubb had 106. But the Tennessee Titans ultimately got the win. And now Arizona hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship after Tampa Bay and Tom Brady beat Aaron Rodgers yet again. Tom Brady's going to be in yet another NFC Championship. Solid day for Brady, not turning the ball over. Yep, solid time, man. And let's take a look at how the Saints lost to the Cardinals. Kyler Murray coming off of a 4-touchdown performance against the Saints. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins 115 yards. That's solid. So now let's try to see who will be hosting the Super Bowl after we take a look at this Pro Bowl roster. And all right, here we go. Taking a look at this little Pro Bowl roster. Let's check what Patriots we got. So at least right now, it's going to be... And the Super Bowl is set. Joe Burrow versus Tom Brady. The Cincinnati Bengals run the gauntlet, upsetting everybody in their path. And now Joe Burrow is going to be going against the GOAT Tom Brady, who is going to be in his 11th Super Bowl appearance. That is absolutely insane. And honestly, I hope that Tom ultimately comes out on top. That would be absolutely insane if this man out here goes and wins another Super Bowl. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about this Pro Bowl and take a look at any Patriots, if there's any of them. At the moment, there's none. Okay, no. Shaq Mason, there you go. Okay, we got a Pro Bowler. Right guard, Shaq Mason. And Matthew Judon, there you go. So 2. Kyle Van Noy, 3. So we leave with 3 Pro Bowlers. There you go. That's what I like to see, man. 3 Pro Bowlers coming off of our team. We're not going to play the Pro Bowl, though, because I don't care. But we can go ahead and get this press conference, because why not? I'll just say, just cut loose, I guess. It's the fun part of just being around these great players, man. I've earned 5 staff points. There you go. Okay. Well, now I'll see you guys in the Super Bowl. As the Super Bowl is set, I'm excited to see who ends up winning and coming out on top. Will it be Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals? Or will Tom Brady win his 8th Super Bowl championship? And there you go. The Super Bowl was decided. 28-23. Joe Burrow becoming the Super Bowl champion. His first Super Bowl MVP, upsetting Tom Brady. That is absolutely insane. 28-23, there you go. Congratulations, Cincinnati. Now let's take a look at how it ultimately went. It's 28-23. It looks like Joe Burrow just outplayed Tom Brady. 3 touchdowns compared to Tom Brady's 2. Joe Mixon had a solid day, 85 yards. Buccaneers didn't know what to do. They didn't want to hand the ball off. Ooh, man. T. Higgins, 111 yards. Mike Evans, 109. Everybody else, Jamar Chase, 4 for 72. So, honestly, it was a solid game. Ultimately, with Joe Burrow coming out on top. The next Tom Brady, potentially. At least in this franchise. He's going to be his own. He's in his own man in real life. Joe Burrow, Joe Cool. I'm excited for that guy's career. But that's potentially going to be the first of many in this series for the Cincinnati Bengals, as their team is very young and talented. And the fact that they're in a Super Bowl in year 1, that is going to be scary. But anyways, y'all, so taking a look, now that the season is over and the Super Bowl is decided, it is time to focus on free agency and most importantly, the draft. So I have no idea about any of this draft class because I just kind of just rebooted it. It's Bengals updated one, so it's a little bit more accurate. We're gonna have Treylon Burks. We're going to have Jameson Williams and guys like that, people that weren't originally in this draft class. And so I really have no idea because I have not done a franchise with this draft class. So honestly, I'm just going to be kind of excited. Hopefully we can ultimately get some good draft picks out of here, and hopefully we can just not make any bust picks. I'm excited, but first we got to focus on players to re-sign. So let me go ahead and advance this week. Because we have some players to re-sign, potentially, or just let go. There's going to be a lot of decisions that we have to make right now. Devin McCourty, I know he's supposed to retire. So, that kind of is going to change things for us, even just looking at stuff. So taking a look. Richard Sherman retires. Andy Lee, Emmanuel Sanders, Gostowski, Josh Norman, Trent Williams, and Alex Mack. Calais Campbell. Okay, here we go. Brian Hoyer, Bethel, Nick Folk. Ooh, Devin McCourty might have stayed. Deshaun Jackson, Gerald McCoy, Andrew Whitworth, Richie Incognito, Jason McCourty, Jason Peters, Mercedes Lewis, Chris Hogan. Patriot legend. Danny Amendola, Rex Burkhead, Patriot legends. Alfred Morris, interesting. Larry Fitzgerald finally hanging it up. Adrian Peterson, Boston's. Oh no, I want to know why I said Boston. Kenyon Barner, Frank Gore, finally hanging it up. Delaney Walker, Mark Barron, Bama. Matt Moore, Bilal Powell. Devin McCourty, no! And Cameron Wake. So we do ultimately end up losing Devin McCourty. Great player, though. Okay, now time to take a look at this mock draft that they got for us. It's the second mock draft of our thing again. And so right now, Kyle Hamilton is actually predicted to be the first overall pick for the Detroit Lions. And then Kayvon Thibodeau, who I assume should be the first pick, because I can only assume that he's probably the best player in this draft. They are predicting us to draft Daxton Hill from Michigan. Okay. So right now it looks like we have the 23rd pick in the draft. And I don't really know. I'm going to make my own picks. And so, in all honesty, I don't know where I'm going to go with my decisions. But at the moment, if Kyle Hamilton, obviously that's a guy I want, I might trade down or I might just take a pick that I feel like I kind of want in general. I don't know any of these guys overall, so, hey, I'm excited to kind of find out what happens with all of this stuff. Scouting, I'm definitely going to have to take a look at that. So, taking a look at the last couple players we need to re-sign. Dante Hightower. His speed's an 80. It's only going to get worse. So, honestly, I need to go let Trent Brown. Let me see. What would it be? I don't want to franchise tag Trent Brown. I'd rather just sign him in free agency. So, honestly, everybody else, I'm pretty much I'm cool with letting everybody go. We're in a soft rebuild because Devin McCourty being gone, Dante Hightower, going to let him go. That's two corner pieces for our team. But we have young pieces already. We have our franchise quarterback for the next decade. So, in all honesty, I'm ready to have a little softcore rebuild and try to get our team back into the right stuff. We need to make sure we make the right draft picks, sign the right players. And the only way we can do that is just moving on to the next round and ultimately just trying to see how we can improve our roster. So obviously last year, Bill Belichick splashed in free agency, and I don't assume that we'll be able to do that to the same extent, considering we only have $29.87 million in cap. So we will have to make sure we can try to sign the right pieces in the right spots, but it all depends on what we're trying to do. So Trent Brown, I'm already going to go ahead and just throw some money at him because I do not see any reason in ever letting this man just walk. If we are not throwing money at him to at least retain him at least a little bit, then I think that is ultimately just dumb. The Chargers must be paying this man a lot of money because this is ridiculous. Oh, man. Okay. Right now, we are the highest bid. Okay, there you go. So, I'm going to take that one. I'm hoping that we can obtain Trent Brown. But let's take a look around the league and see who is a free agent. Backup quarterback, I'm not really needing at the moment, so we can just move off of that. Running back wise, I'm cool with Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, so I don't really see a point in really picking up anybody here unless it is literally just for depth. And at that point, for depth, I can honestly just look in the draft and pick up somebody in the preseason. Because picking up anybody right now in this moment is kind of just pointless, at least in the beginning of free agency. Receiver. So we clearly need to upgrade our receiver room, but I do not know where to go with this position. Nelson Aguilar. I'm honestly going to see what I can get for him in a trade, because Nelson Aguilar, I feel like, is somebody that I really just don't feel is going to live up to anything that we need him to. And honestly, I just feel like moving on from him. We're going to be in our little world in here. And so I'm going to see what I can find for Nelson Aguilar that is feasible and that I feel is realistic. So I'll be right back when I find something. Apparently the Rams want him, so let's see if the Rams would go ahead and take like a third-round pick for Nelson Aguilar, which I think is realistic. Okay, well maybe they would want him. I'll find another team. Juju Smith-Schuster being gone, I think I can swindle the Pittsburgh Steelers out of a third-round pick for Nelson Aguilar. And there you go. Nelson Aguilar is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler. And our receiver room is a little bit depleted. But I feel like we can upgrade this somehow. So with Dante Hightower being a free agent right here, and he's up to 32 years old, I don't really see the point in really us trying to retain him. So we're throwing money at Chris Barnes, the middle linebacker. He is 24 years old. And honestly, just as good. 84 speed's not the best, obviously. But ultimately, I feel that he can be a solid cornerstone. We have a 3-4. We have a good D-line that can hold the line of scrimmage. So ultimately, I just need a linebacker that I feel will be in the right position to make the right kind of plays. And he is a good age, 24 years old, to the point to where, if I feel like that he's not performing, he is young enough for him to still be a trade asset down the road. Raekwon McMillan is still on our roster, and I don't want him starting, so this is why we're going to be having Chris Barnes. Obviously, I don't know what we're going to be finding in the draft, but we have to see if we can even retain this man while we're trying to bid for him to begin with. We're also going to throw money at Mr. Rodrigo Blankenship because we need a kicker. And I'd rather have a kicker that actually has a face scan. Because I don't want Norden. I want to throw money at either Juju Smith-Schuster or Michael Gallup. But I don't know which one to do. Let me think. I feel like Juju Smith-Schuster really wouldn't be a fit for New England in all honesty. I feel like he just wouldn't really make sense. So I feel like him going somewhere else would probably make the most sense. I like to pick up guys that kind of make sense, but I really just don't know if anybody here in this would ever go to New England. Juju would probably be the most feasible because I don't see us ever picking up Will Fuller, Antonio Brown, and we've done that. Michael Gallup is definitely one that I feel would be amazing, but I just don't know. I will throw money at him. I don't know how it's going to go, but that would definitely change the landscape of our offense, and it would change the landscape of our draft. Because honestly, if we pick up Michael Gallup, I won't need to draft a receiver because right there is easily the best receiver that we would have, and then I can just focus on everything else in the draft. So let's take a look, throw some money at Michael Gallup. Let's see if he'll even. I'm sure he'll get more money from other places, so I don't know if he's going to accept ours right away, but we shall take a look. So before we actually sim this, let's take a look at the people that we threw money at. So we threw money at Trent Brown to try to keep our O-line intact, Michael Gallup to upgrade our receiver room, Rodrigo Blankenship to get us a kicker with a face scan, and Chris Barnes, who I'm actually going to take out. We're just going to keep our money at Trent Brown, Michael Gallup, and Rodrigo Blankenship. And hopefully, we can just get all three and don't have to worry about it. Ah, no, we didn't get Trent Brown. I've got to be kidding me, man. But we did get Michael Gallup, so we do have a new receiver on the team, and we have Rodrigo Blankenship. So take a look at our roster. Michael Gallup now on the team. We have a whole new receiver. Welcome to New England, Michael Gallup. I know a lot of people wouldn't like this, but I don't care because I love it. And that is going to be our number one receiver for years to come. 26 years old, we'll at least have him for the next 4 to 5 years in this franchise with Mac Jones. And I'm excited to see what these two could do. Yep, so take a look. This is our team at the moment. Remember it, because it's going to change a little bit. I don't know why Isaiah Wynn is starting at both positions. It makes no sense. Okay, there you go. So at the moment, this is our team, offensively and defensively. Looks like we need to upgrade our free safety, middle linebacker, and right tackle position. So let me take a look at some of these prospects. See some of these pro days. So ultimately, let's take a look. So first, we need to look at some right tackles, or tackles in general. So we're going to keep an eye on this guy, Charlie Cross. We're going to keep an eye on Charlie Cross. I'm also going to keep an eye on we'll look at Darian Kennard, but it's not going to be one of my favorite ones. I can tell you that. Take a look at the left tackles because we can move anybody around. Evan Neal, I don't assume that we're going to be high enough to get at all. But round one, we can still potentially get Ecom. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on him as well. Oh, yeah. We're going to keep our eye on Ecom. And Trevor Penning as well. I like Trevor Penning as well, man. So there's some good linemen in this draft. Starting to like the linemen in this draft. Taking a look. I'm just going to take a look at all these linemen and see what going on. We're going to give oh yeah. I'm excited for this draft, man. I think we're gonna have a good draft. Let's take a look at the middle linebacker position. Definitely gonna keep. Okay. Yeah, I have an idea of who I'm going to be drafted. I think I know how I'm going to be going with this draft, man. Okay, after taking a look at some of those rookies, I'm definitely excited to see what we're going to do in this draft. But I also want to see what this third mock draft is going to say about the draft. And it looks like Kyle Hamilton is still holding that number one spot in these recent mock drafts. Kayvon Thibodeau, who I really hope is not going to go to the Jets, because I don't want to be playing against him his entire career. But it looks like that's going to be the case. But again, I really hope that's not what happens. I really want the Detroit Lions to draft him. Bad. And we're still projected to draft Daxton Hill. So as we take a look, let's take a look at free agency. So now that we did get Michael Gallup and Rodrigo Blankenship, I kind of want to take a look at linemen in free agency. So Russell Okung, that is pointless. I would never pick him up. And Mitchell Schwartz. All right, yep, we need to draft somebody. I'm going to pick up a center for depth. We can get Ben Jones, old Bama boy. Oh, Georgia boy, I mean, yeah. We'll just get him for depth. At this point, I'm just going to get people for depth for these positions. Okay. Fill our roster. I'm going to get something else there. Okay, cool. So we threw a little bit of money on those players, but we're just going to try to see how that goes. Let's take a look. Some of the staff moves that have happened around the league. So Joe Judge was hired as the offensive coordinator for the Lions. Looks like... Okay, so just a bunch of DC positions. The only new head coach is Griffin Murphy, which is always the Patriots' normal head coach on here, but all right, cool. Nothing too crazy happened around the league, so I'm chilling with that. Let's take a look at the next part of this off season. Now we can start looking at private workouts, but first we did get Ben Jones and Wiley, so that's going to just add depth to our old line. And now let's take a look at some of these private workouts. So since there's some diamonds in this draft that I feel like we kind of need to take an eye on, I want to look at Ecom. So I'm going to look at him. I'm going to look at Daxton Hill, since he is the one that we're projected to draft. And I want to take a look at maybe a dark horse pick. Let's take a look at David Bell. So that's what we're gonna do. I lost connection to the EA servers one at a time. All right, as the fourth mock draft is here now, let's see what everything is ultimately probably going to look like. It's still all the same, and they're still projecting us to draft Daxton Hill from Michigan. So everything is kind of the same. They're going to have Malik Willis going. Ooh. And backing up Tom Brady. That would be filthy for them. You know, hey. I'm excited to see how this draft goes, honestly. I'm excited to see how the league improves, and I don't know. I'm just excited. Let's get this thing going. I'm already gonna, let's take a look at some of the free agency recap to see where the big names went, and then I'm ready to go. So, Dante Adams is gonna be a Seattle Seahawk. Terron Armstead is gonna be a Colt. Jason Kelsey is gonna be a Texan. Trent Brown decided to go to the Chargers instead of signing with us. Melvin Gordon is going to be a Miami Dolphin now. Bryce Callahan, a Cincinnati Bengal. Jadeveon Clowney is going to be a Detroit Lion. Carlton Davis is going to be a Jaguar. Marlon Mack, a Jet. As along with Jason Verrett. Desmond King, a Detroit Lion. Will Fuller is going to be a Cincinnati Bengal. Patrick Ricard is going to be a Steeler. Juju is going to be an Indianapolis Colt. So they settled with Juju since we got Michael Gallup. Christian Kirk's going to be Detroit Lions. So Detroit Lions signed everybody. It seems like Taron Johnson going to be Jaguar. Robert Tonyan's going to be a Charger. David Njoku, Jaguar. Rojo's going to be a Falcon. Melvin Ingram's going to move to the Raiders. DJ Chark is going to be a Washington football player. Jameis Winston's going to be over in Miami. He might be the starter. Huh. He might be a starter. And Chase Edmonds is also going to be in Miami. So Miami kind of going crazy in this too. Okay. Can't be mad about what's happening around the league, man. Just got to make sure we improve as well. So now let's get ready for this draft, honestly, because I'm just ready to get this thing going and to get this thing started. So I want to see the first couple picks live with you guys because it's only fair. So the first pick of the NFL draft in 2022, the Detroit Lions are going to select, Kyle Hamilton. The first overall pick in the draft is a free safety. So that's going to leave Kayvon Thibodeau to go to the New York Jets, which is exactly what I didn't want to happen. And it'd be dumb if they didn't do it, in all honesty. Dang. So the best player in the draft is actually... Oh! Evan Neal is going to the Jets. So the Jets pass on Kayvon Thibodeau. And that ultimately is going to... Wow, okay. So that's probably he's going to end up being a Giant now. Unless he just keeps falling in the draft. I can only assume he'll get drafted next. I can only assume. Derek Stingley! Ooh, Kayvon Thibodeau is just fun. Wow, so he's going to end up with Trevor Lawrence. Okay. So Trevor Lawrence is going to have Kayvon Thibodeau on the other side of the ball most likely then, because that was the only thing that makes sense at this point. Because if this man keeps falling in the draft, that's really going to make... Okay, there you go. So if there's two things you need, it's a quarterback and a pass rusher. And that's what the Jaguars ultimately ended up getting. So now, honestly, I'm pretty much... Let's see what the Philadelphia Eagles draft, actually. Let's watch the top 10 picks live. Because I feel like that's the only thing that would be that's kind of fair. So Matt Carroll, quarterback out of Ole Miss, is going to be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles now. They're probably going to most likely move on from Jalen Hurts. Drafting a guy here, this draft capital at pick 6 this early, I can only assume that at this point you're probably just going to move on from the current quarterback that you have under helm. Poor Jalen Hurts. And DeMarvin Leal is going to go to the New York Giants. So the Giants, man, they could have had Kayvon and DeMarvin Leal. That would have been absolutely filthy, but they decided not to go with that. That's probably what I would have done if I was them, because that just sort of solidifies your D-line. You create a new D-line like you had with with O.C. Manora and Michael Strahan and all of them, but who am I going to say? Aiden Hutchinson's going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles, which is going to add to their pass rush. Him and Brandon Graham will be pretty solid. Rounding out the last couple picks that we're going to do live, the Carolina Panthers with the 8th pick select Ecom, who we were going to draft. So that takes away that. I mean, I didn't really think he was going to fall to us to begin with, but, you know, we had hopes. The Pittsburgh Steelers with the 9th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft are going to select Treylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas. That is a solid pick. That guy's going to be an absolute monster. I mean, I feel like they kind of need a quarterback, but you know, it's not my job to really kind of worry about this team. Now the Detroit Lions gonna be the last pick we're gonna watch live. With the 10th pick in the 2022 draft, they select George Carl Fultis or whatever, however you say it. Anyways, let's go to our pick. So Devin Lloyd is the one that got drafted before us. Let's see who is ultimately still on the board. So I'm obviously not going to go anything with Malik Willis, but I do kind of want to look at our favorites. So Taylor Penning is actually still there, and that is actually a Trevor Penning. That is a guy that we were actually wanting to look at. I don't need the quarterback, obviously, and I'm not even going to entertain that. So we're going to take a look at either drafting Trevor Penning. I don't know why I keep saying Taylor. Trevor Penning. Because we do need to upgrade our line because what happened losing Trent Brown. And honestly, I would much rather protect Mac Jones than to do anything else. But at the same time, we definitely still need a free safety, and Daxton Hill is literally the perfect guy to add to our team right now at the moment. But I just feel like we might have to. This is tough, man. I feel like maybe. So let's take a look at the rest of the O-linemen in this draft. If I feel like I can focus on getting Zion, because this guy looks like he has pretty solid stats as well. So if I go get Zion Nelson in the later rounds or Jackson Kirkland, if I get Jackson Kirkland or Zion Nelson, I feel like I will be able to make up for not picking up Trevor Penning right now in the draft. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I don't know ultimately what I want to do. So we're going to go ahead. I mean, in all honesty, there's only one thing. If there's any free safeties that I feel like I can get instead, maybe later in the draft, then maybe that will. Ooh. They picture us getting him as well. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's take a look at some of these free safeties first. Okay, we're not going to get Brandon Joseph. That is not happening. We're going to go with Daxton Hill out of Michigan. That is ultimately going to be played in the redraft. And we're going to try to salvage our O-line later in this draft. We're going to go with Daxton Hill. Now, welcome to the New England Patriots. In the 2022 draft, the 23rd overall pick in the draft, Daxton Hill out of Michigan is now a New England Patriot. Now here we are in the second round, 23rd pick yet again. So let's take a look at players that we want to take a look at. So favorites yet again, and Zion Nelson is still there. So it's either do I want him or do I want a middle linebacker? In all honesty, I need the O-lineman, so that's exactly what we're going to do since that's what we were focusing on. His physicals look, good enough. Great. His strength is elite, though. That's what I need for my O-lineman. Lead blocks an A, pass blocks an A, run blocks a B, run powers an A, man. Like, this guy has to be at least solid enough to be a a star. There you go, man. We don't know his overall, but he has a hidden dev trait. So that is 2 hidden dev trait picks in this draft to start. So honestly, that's a pretty solid draft to already start out. We're already not messing up this draft. In the 3rd round, pick 9, we're going to pick up Arnold. I don't know how to say his name, but it's an outside linebacker out of Penn State. And that is another hidden dev trait. Let's get it. We are finding everybody in this draft, man. Let's go. DeMarvion Overshawn. And there you go. Normal dev. First normal dev in this draft. And honestly, can't be mad with how it's done. So here in the 4th round, considering I don't really know a lot of players in this draft at this point, I didn't do a lot of the scouting since it's a whole new draft class. I'm actually just going to trade down and trade for a pick in next year's draft. I kind of want 2 picks, but who do I think will be worse? Whose picks do I think will be the best one? Minnesota Vikings or Seattle Seahawks? Let's go with Minnesota Vikings. And there you go. So we move down the draft, and our next pick won't be until the 6th round. All right, so here we go in the 6th round of the draft. I'm going to take a look at some of the players that are available. And this running back Morgan Tongue is still available, which is hilariously weird. But taking a look around the rest of it, not really anybody that really tickles my fancy. I wouldn't mind looking at Reed Blankenship, to be honest, or Marquise Bell. But we kind of already drafted a free safety, so I don't really totally see the point. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to go get C.J. Verdal out of Oregon. And that is, hey, homegrown here. Let's go. C.J. Verdal, he's going to be our back. He's going to be our replacement for James White. That's what we're going to do. We have 2 more picks in this draft, and I really don't care, so we're just going to go ahead and trade this away for a 2023 pick. And then I'll make another pick, and then we'll end it. Okay, so let's take a look. We might as well just go get a receiver that can maybe go get a prove-it deal. Let's go get Joe Nata. Day 3 projection. I'm going to go get the fastest receiver out of the top 4 left. So 4-4-3. 4-4-5. 4-4-9. Joe Nata. 4-5-3. Yeah, we're not going to get 4-5-3. So we're going to go ahead and draft Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College, 5'7", 176 pounds. Ooh, actually, hold up. There's a 6'5" receiver down here, boy. Let's go. Hold up. Ooh, 4-5. Ooh. I'm just going to do a shot in the dark, and I'm going to Joe Nocta, and I'm going to feel like he's going to be a good performer in this game. Hidden dev trait, let's go! The Clemson receivers are something you could trust, man. You can trust those receivers out of Clemson, man. All right, so no more picks in this draft, so let's get it. All right, so before we go into the end of the season, taking a look at our last rank stat, how we ended the year, and now this time will be the whole season will be our stats. So this will be completely different and completely unprecedented, at least for this year. And so offense last year, our offense was ranked 11. We were 26 in the pass and fourth in the fourth rushing attack. Can't talk. Defense overall was 15th. We are number 1 against the pass. We were the second worst team against the run. 31 against our rank was 31 against the run, allowing 136 yards per game to total opposing offenses. So I'm definitely hoping to turn that around and, improve. I feel like we got some players to improve our defense and improve our team just overall. Take a look at our draft recap just for us in general. We got Daxton Hill, the lead ours. Zion Nelson, 74 overall, left tackle. Arnold Ibiki, 73. Marvion Orshawn. So we had a bunch of 70 overalls, which I am very, very happy to have. CJ Verdell and Joe Nocta, 66 and 67. But overall, I feel like that was a solid draft. And let's take a look at, I'm not going to take a look at all the teams because that's just a lot. That's all 32 teams. That's a lot. We saw what happened with the first top 10 picks. But I do want to take a look at some crucial teams. I want to take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals, the team that won. They're going to add to the running back room with Kenneth Walker. They have Brenton CX Jr., which is going to be absolutely filthy. I probably should have tried to get him, but I didn't. I'm also going to try to look at the Buffalo Bills division matchup. Andrew Booth Jr., JT Daniels. That makes no sense for them to go draft that, but all right. I also want to check if the game didn't go ruin themselves and draft a quarterback. Okay, cool. Ravens didn't draft a quarterback. They did in one of my franchises, so I had to check. Take a look at the Jets. Oh, well, I forgot the Dolphins too, but Evan Neal, we know that. Charles Cross, Brandon Smith. Okay, the Jets are going to be a lot better. Let's take a look at the Dolphins. They're rounded out. Devin Lloyd, Zion Johnson, Zamir White. So honestly, it's going to be a solid next season, man. I'm excited for all of it. And I'm just excited to get everything going and get everything started. The Lions had a great draft, by the way. And so next video will be the start of the preseason. And we will play our first preseason game. I do plan on playing the preseason just because I want to see how these rookies play. I want to have these position battles. And ultimately, I just feel like that will be the best way to have it. But before we go ahead and do that, we can start the Hall of Fame induction. Because, why not?
When DeMarcus Ware was selected 11th overall in the 2005 NFL Draft, he became the first Troy University player to ever be chosen in the opening round. Now, 17 years later, he's the first Trojan to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His 138.5 sacks ranked 9th all-time in NFL history. And his 9 Pro Bowl selections are tied with fellow legends like Walter Payton, Ed Reed, Derek Thomas, and John Elway. Now, DeMarcus joins them in the Hall of Fame.
DeMarcus Ware was an absolute savage, and that is undeniable. But all right, y'all, so next game will be the preseason matchup versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It might just be the whole preseason, even then, too. Really kind of just have to figure it out. But thank you to anybody that's been following around this series. If you want to kind of keep trying to follow this, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification. I kind of just upload these videos whenever I do have the time, as I'm balancing school and work and a social life. So, when I get the chance to be uploading more videos, I will. Because there's definitely going to be a year 2 to this franchise. So anyways, y'all, thank you to anybody that's been watching this. I love y'all. I will see y'all next video.